Hey guys!
Hello.
Welcome to a really rainy Friday. It is a lovely spring rain though.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean I'm going to call it a spring rain. It's the middle of summer.
Yeah.
But yesterday was also had a lovely little rain in the morning. I think it was yesterday morning that I came in and I was like, Tony, I went to your pool party because I had to walk all the way down the alley in the rain. All right, well, hopefully everybody else, I know if you're in Texas, you're probably not enjoying a nice spring rain or any of the Southwest right now. So I do apologize. That sucks for you guys. No sound. Really, no sound? No sound for everybody?
I'm sending sound, so.
We are sending sound. Ron, accept our sound.
Do you get it?
Hi, Omar. Lightly deep subject. Mightily deep subject. My router is a dinosaur. Dinosaurs are cool. All right, guys. So basically, I mean, we've been talking about this for a really long time. So I just plopped it on the schedule somewhere. We're going to do some of it now, and then Denny and I will work on it a little bit here and there, and then we'll do some of it later
on.
Yeah, in a few weeks. So we've got, this is a pattern from Creative All. It is called the Brickman. It is no longer for sale. I'm assuming maybe because there was some issues. Because it looks like this. Like this. I'm just going to show real small right here. This little guy, he reminds you of something that's plastic and small and you play with when you're a child or if you're an adult like me. And I do that. In any case, shut up, guys.
Oh my Lord!
Live shopping is just continuing to today. In any case, so Denny and I are just gonna chat while we sew because this is all just hand sewing. All the parts have been cut. We're gonna sew up arms today as much as we can get to them. You know. Hey, we got somebody from Mexico. How fun!
And Omar's from
Nina.
Algeria.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Sounds good to me. I hear you. Okay, so most of us can hear. Ron is our sound back. Anyways, we got Denny. You guys I feel like you haven't seen Denny in a minute. Were you here last week? Did we do something last week?
Yeah, I was in here Wednesday with you,
Oh,
Kevin,
yeah.
for
But you
about
kind of
5
just stood
minutes.
here where nobody could
I
see you.
just watched.
Well, in any
last
case.
week I was here, I think.
Yeah. I'm sure
I
we did
was
something.
somewhere last
We did
week,
something
yeah.
somewhere. In any case,
We had resellers last week.
yeah, we had the resellers. Oh, and then Kevin missed his.
Yeah.
Kevin.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I wasn't here.
Yeah, Denny had an appointment. So in any case, we're just going to hand sew on this guy. You guys know and love Creative All. They come out with some really awesome patterns. They're really on point with trendy things. They have dragons. They just have, like, if it's new and trend, like, they've got a pattern for it, which I think is spectacular. We've got over here, you can kind of see on the side, or is that the leather? I think that's a Creative All pattern.
We're talking about
The hat, do you know? Or is it the Diesel Punk?
No, that's Tony. That's Diesel Punk.
Diesel Punk. All right. Well, between the two of them, they really keep the leather community in
Stitches.
in stitches. Yeah, because all of their patterns are like hole punch hand stitch patterns, which are pretty cool. So,
Canada. Well, she was
Ooh.
in Canada. Not where she. I don't know where she's at now.
yeah. No, we definitely won't make this a pattern. But, you guys know that I love Legos. I do love them. And as we all should,
You're a Lego snob.
I am a Lego
You
snob.
can't even buy like the off-brand ones.
Well, who would why would you buy off-brand Legos? That seems weird.
It's the same thing without the Legos.
No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. They don't work the same. It's not.
Some off-brand and some Legos when they stick together.
It's not the same.
The colors are a little bit different, but they do stick together.
I think this is just like a baseball stitch, isn't it? With an X at the bottom.
This looks just like a whip stitch.
Oh yeah, stepping on them sucks.
Does
They all feel the same when you step on them. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe is it just a one needle
Yeah,
operation?
that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, just a one needle
I
operation.
started with 2, but I think it's 1 now. Now this,
What if
Ronnie
these
just
two needles
will
go in
have to use
opposite
2
directions?
needles.
It's complicated, Tony. All right, here we go.
It'd be like
So anyways,
words Lady in the Tramp.
I just thought that maybe we could pick Denny's brain a little bit today while we hand sew this. Because like this is just, it's just going to be, Denny and I are both going to work on an arm right now. So we're just going to stitch up an arm. That way, if we discover something, we can help the other person and make sure that we get through this in a, oh, this is way faster than saddle stitching. Why have I never done this before?
Why don't I do
Shoot.
that all the time?
Right? Well. So in any case, hopefully everybody's fine with that. We're just going to sit here. And Denny got some of his... This is a lot of parts to cut out. I think I was counting it. It's like 60 some odd parts.
There are 74,000 holes in here.
74,000
There's a
holes.
bunch of holes.
Yeah, it's a lot. And,
Yeah, Denise, if you don't want to hang out for this, it's going to be an hour long full of nonsense. So if you don't like it, you can just turn your sound on mute.
oh, hey Denise. Yeah, we're just here to chat. So anyways, I was going to talk to Denny about getting into leathercraft and what it was like to kind of join a saddle company. What year did you join them out there?
When I started making saddles, that was probably in 1982 or 3,
Okay.
if I remember right. I had done leathercraft as a hobby since I was in junior high school. I had an uncle that lived in Mount Vernon, Missouri, which is just not far from here.
No.
But he did leathercraft. He worked at a hospital where they treated, pardon me, TB patients. And they would be in the hospital for a year or two at a time, so they had to have something to do. So
Right.
he would teach them leathercraft. And he made me a belt one time when I was just a little kid. And I thought, man, that is the coolest thing there ever was. I got to learn how to do that. And, it kind of went from there. I started, when I was in junior high, I started having my dad take me over to a shandy store in Denver. It was over on Sheridan Avenue. I remember the name of the
Of course it was. There's
Yeah.
no other avenue that a leather store could be on.
Yeah, but that was before the big Sheridan deal ever started. But anyway, and I would start buying kits, and I would see guys there doing all this stuff, and I thought, man, I'm just a nothing. And I was right. But, I just kept buying kits. I'd make a purse for my mom and a wallet for my dad. I remember I made my sisters both a pair of clogs. They had wooden-soled clogs that Tandy had a pattern for at the time.
Yeah.
I remember doing that. But anyway, I did that, and all through when I was going to college in Glenwood Springs, I didn't do very much. But then in Grand Junction, I didn't do very much.
What'd you go to college for?
The heck of it. That's about all I can say. That's about all I can say. But I went for a year in Grand Junction, and then I didn't really cotton to that too much. So I quit and worked for a year, and then I went to school at Colorado Mountain College in Glenwood Springs.
You're like, I'm going to try this again.
And that's where I started doing a little more leather work. 'Cause I'd take leather up to, I was living in a house with a couple of guys, and I would go to Denver and buy a bunch of leather, and then come back and make belts for all the
your
people
friends.
that I knew there. Yeah. But anyway, after I didn't do very much in college, I quit and started building houses. After that, I started working oil field, and in about 1982, I think it was, there was a big oil bust, and they just quit drilling for oil. And the company I was working for laid me off, and I remember laying on the living room floor, beating my head against the carpet, saying, "What am I going to do now?" And I remembered there was a saddle shop in town. So I went and talked to that guy. He wasn't very thrilled about hiring someone, but I said, hey, I said, I'm drawing unemployment. I don't need very much money. And being the cheapskate that he was, he said, okay, I'll hire you. And I worked for him for a year, and he taught me from the ground up. He said, if you want to learn to build saddles, you need to start repairing saddles, because by the time you've repaired every part of a saddle, you will know how one goes together. You'll be able to build a whole saddle yourself.
Yeah.
And worked out pretty well. I worked for him for a year or so, and I built a couple of saddles with him while I was there. And then he decided to retire. And my grandfather had passed away and left me like $29 or whatever it was. And I said, I'm going to buy your shop from you. And he said, well, how much money do you have? And I told him, and he said, well, he said, I'll tell you what. He said, I'll sell you what you have the money for. We'll just do an inventory as we take it out the door.
Huh.
And you can just pay me off a little at a time for the rest of it. That's kind of the way that's all started. And, I had.
So I'm doing mine laid over the top. It looks like it's laid over the top of that.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. So I'm gonna whip up and around. So I'm gonna go vertical stitch.
Okay.
Okay. Because it looks like that's with a vertical stitch on the back of his arm here.
Okay, then I will do this.
Guys, there is no instructions for this. I tried to find them yesterday so that we could prepare a little bit, and it looks like everything is taken down, which is why I'm really not talking about it a lot. I do want to do it. It's fun. We're doing this, but I don't want to get anybody in trouble for anything. So we're just kind of, we're figuring it out as we go, which is.
Yeah, we're making this up, you guys. This is experimental.
Yeah, we're having a spearmint day. We should get our spearmint card. I don't know where Tony took it.
Everything we do is a spearmint, I think.
Yeah, it is true. We do like to spearmint around here. Legos are awesome. Like, I have way more Legos now than I ever did when I was a kid. But, I mean, there was 5 of us. I had, we had like that tub of Legos that we would have just. My dad built a big table that just pushed under the couch, and we would pull it out. It was a big wooden table with a ledge on it, and it was great for puzzles or whatever. But we always had just a big tub of Legos perpetually on it, and maybe this is better. I don't ever do a whip stitch, so I have to figure out how I'm doing this.
Are you covering all?
Well, I was going to, but
up
then
one way and back down the other way.
I was going to, but then I figured that would be way too much. That would be unnecessary. So now I'm probably going to skip a hole on the back side.
Then that's what I'll do.
Okay. Definitely want his arms to match.
Yeah.
Can't have mismatched arms. Oh, I don't know if I ever finished. Denny wrote it on the pattern right, but then he went to cut it out. And there's definitely some pieces where our dude's going to be in a tank top. Because we don't have white arms. We have natural arms. We're just using natural Herman Oak for the arms, which I thought was kind of fun. He'll age. He'll become all sorts of colors through his lifetime as he patinas, which will be neat.
Racial.
In any case, that's what we're doing. Well, so what was your biggest whoops when you started out leatherworking?
Oh, I've had a bunch. This wasn't when I first started, but this was my most memorable. I was a team roper.
Okay.
And so I had an in with all these guys, And every time one of them would win a saddle, they'd bring it to me and have me stamp their name on the fender.
Okay.
It said first place, whatever year it was, wherever it was.
Right.
And a friend of mine, his name was Randy Arthur. He's passed away. But he'd want a saddle. And he said, Denny, I want you to stamp my name on it. And I said, okay. I said, Randy, how do you spell your last name? And he said, Arthur.
Okay.
He wouldn't mind me telling this story, I'm sure. But so I stamped one fender and got it done. I said, man, that looked pretty good. And I got the other one done. And I had it all waiting in the shop. And he came in one day to get it. And he said, He said, that's a really nice job. He said, but that's not my name. I had spelled it Randy Aruther.
On both sides.
Fingers. Yeah.
Well, at least it was symmetrical.
Yeah, it was symmetrical. And I said, oh, Randy, that's terrible.
You're going to have to win another one of these.
I said, I'll tell you what, I'll just build you a new set of fenders. And he said, no, he said, I got 10 of these at home. He said, I'm just going to stack it out in the barn anyway. That's all. But anyway, I remember that to this day.
Yeah, it always, personalizing something always makes me super nervous.
Well, I don't know what I was thinking. Arthur, but I spelled it Aruther.
He said, you can just go down to the DMV and get that changed.
Yeah, I said, you're going to have to change your name, Randy.
That's funny. Well, so as you were getting started, what's kind of one of the most important lessons that you remember or as you were beginning your real career in leatherwork?
Well, you know, when I was working for the guy I worked for, his name was Bob McRae, and he was really a fine saddle maker. He learned the trade and he was from Missouri, by the way, but he had learned his trade at the Visalia Company in California, which was a premier saddle company. I don't know if they're still in business, but anyway, he taught me how to do everything that he did. I mean, he said if you're on your own, you can do things however you want to, but when you're here, this is the way I want you to do it.
Sure.
And I took his word for it, because what he did always looked pretty good. It was pretty nice, you know. But he said one of the main things, he said, you want to do as good a job as you can. And he said, hurry every chance you get, but never go faster than you can go and still do a good job.
Okay.
You know, and I've pretty much tried to follow that rule. You know, I didn't make a lot of money building saddles.
No, it's super labor intensive.
Yeah, it's labor intensive, but I enjoyed every minute of it, and I built quite a few saddles. And you know, there's still people that come up and say, "Hey, I've got one of your saddles." You know.
Oh yeah, every year at Farm Fest,
Yeah.
we got Denny's fan club that always comes by and says hi.
You know, there's a guy that called me the other day. We're in Missouri, and he was in Pennsylvania. And he said, I've got a chance to buy a saddle that has your name on it. And I was wondering if you could tell me about it.
Oh wow,
And that was pretty neat. You know?
that is cool.
Yeah.
How old was that saddle?
I think it was while I was still in Grand Junction, so it was probably 83 or 84 or 85 maybe.
And he was in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
So he had a saddle that you built in the 80s.
Yeah, I didn't build it for him.
Right. He had found a saddle somewhere in Pennsylvania,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
That Denny had built somewhere in the 80s in Colorado. How cool.
But I've been pretty lucky. Like I said, I never got rich doing this, but I've enjoyed my work the whole time. And I've been able to do what I wanted to do. When I had my shop, that was a little more.
You kind of take the work that comes in.
Yeah, you just have to take what comes your way, but you can do it the way you want to, and do it to, if you want to do a good job on it, you're allowed to do that.
You can make as little money an hour as you want to make.
That's right. That's right. But you can do as good a job as you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's how I view my leather work, my personal leather work with my sheath making. I mean, even if I were to, I charge, somewhere between $150 to maybe like $300 is probably the most I've ever charged for a knife sheath. But it takes me weeks of prep and look and going over things and this and that. And like by the time, after materials or whatever it is that I'm putting in, all that design work, all those hours spent staring at this thing, trying to make, like, figure out what the coolest thing could be that I can make to go with this really cool knife that I have. Like, you don't make any money. Like, I'm not making money. I just receive some amount of monetary for the time that I
You support your habit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're fast.
But, and in retrospect to that too, there's always people that are going to say, hey, can you do that cheaper than that? Because that's way too much money. But you know as well as I know how much time you have in a project and how much material. And most of the time you aren't charging enough to make money anyway.
Right.
And then they're wanting you to make less, so you can say, no, thank you.
Right.
I've had enough practice. I'm trying to make a few bucks now.
Right. Yeah.
You know what?
What?
I may be wrong, but I think instead of overlapping these stitches like this, I think you stitched it like this.
On the hand? Because this is the
on
hand.
Shoulder. Going around here, I think he stitched it like this.
It looks like it goes in.
Maybe so. This is what we have here.
I think that'll be okay once we kind of push it out and it'll. You know what? Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I don't know. But I think now you're just gonna start sewing on.
Yeah, so his little wrist on, or his lower arm.
Yep. This part.
Okay. With those two.
Absolutely, Crystal. That's buy it once and have it forever.
Looks like he just butted these, you think?
Yes. Yes, like that.
This.
Maybe did you not punch holes on the bottom?
There wasn't any holes marked on the bottom.
Well, all right. Maybe that's just for pretty. I think you're fine. Just go with it. We're just going with
I
it.
don't know what makes you think I'm fine.
Well, because I don't think it actually connects. I feel like these hands just pop into this cavity. So that's
Okay, if I got
the
right or
assumption.
left.
I don't know. I know that we have the parts that we need, but I don't know.
Okay. Let's
Liz,
make,
what made you come
let's-
to work at Springfield Leather?
what's that?
I asked Liz what made her. She's been interviewing you, so now I'm going to interview
Oh,
her.
there you go.
What made Liz want to come work at Springfield Leather?
Life. So I graduated high school in 2008, and I was fortunate enough. We have a program here in Missouri called the A+ program. I guess I assume that it's statewide, but anyways, yeah. And so I participated in the A+ program. And so when I graduated high school, I was most of the way finished with a drafting and design degree, because that's what, like, just an associate's degree in drafting from our local Ozarks Technical Community College here in town. And so I had most of my credits. I had been going for 2 years part-time. And then in 2008 was a great year. And it took me 3 more semesters to finish. So I finished like spring of 2009. I had my drafting and design degree, but that still wasn't far enough away from 2008 and the market crashed for there to be any jobs in drafting anywhere. There wasn't mechanical drafting, there wasn't architectural drafting, there was just nothing to be had. And so during high school, I had worked at Walgreens, and I used to come here and take classes. So this was before we had leather classes. We just used to offer bead classes. So I would come and I would take, like wire wrapping or stringing and weaving classes. Here it was like, this is just a cool place to come when you live in Springfield. And if you're crafty at all, you can't beat it. And so I would be here quite a bit. I was taking classes almost every month. And so one day Molly, who's Kevin and Becky's daughter, she used to run the retail floor. And so I had come in one day and just taken my classes, or maybe I was shopping. I don't know what was happening. In any case, and Molly was like, "Do you want a job? Do you want to work here?" And I was like, "Well, things ain't looking great for drafting right now." And Walgreens isn't awesome, so why not? So I started in 2009, in September 2009, and never left. So it was just kind of by chance. I did, it's different. It's fine. I saw that afterwards, and I was like, well, I probably used the wrong word.
What?
I said I was going to do whip stitch, but like I filled it in.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did.
And
but
I
yours
did
is
not.
cuter. So it's cool.
It is?
Yeah. In any case.
You guys have cute little arms.
He has cute arms. Yeah, so that's, and I kind of, like, I worked retail for a couple years, I think. I don't know. I've been here for so long that everything just kind of blends together. And, like, the time frames, like, someday I might need to go sit down and, like, write out, like, all right, I worked on retail for maybe, like, a year and a half, I think, because I was on the bead side for a little while, and I worked the beads and the rock side, and then I started getting into the leather, and then I started working, like, I moved over to the leather side, which was, like, a little promotion back in the day, and then from there, one of the girls that had been doing our social media and e-commerce, because this was, like, when our Amazon store was just getting started, and then, like, it was right around the time that social media was actually starting to be a thing that you should do for business. And so the girl that had been doing both of those things was just going to move into the social media and do that exclusively. So then we needed somebody to run the Amazon store, which is that time was starting to really get busy, and it was like a full-time position. So I moved from the retail into the Amazon, and then I ran the Amazon store for, I think, maybe like a year. I don't know. Everything is kind of just a year in my head, but it could have been longer. I don't know. Just time does things. Denny started in that time because we were on retail together for a while, right? Or was not? Maybe not.
This is my 10th. I'm going in November. It will be 10 years, or October. It'll be 10 years for me.
So maybe.
You've been here 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
before I was.
12. Yeah. So maybe not. Maybe I had just moved off, or it was real close. And then I ran our Amazon store for a little while, and then I had some life changes, and I didn't know quite what was happening, and I trained somebody else on the Amazon store, and then eventually I moved into the office. So I worked in the office for quite a while. And then I became Darcy and Ed's assistant for a little bit. So when Ed was here, it was like I just, like, after I left the office, I started doing custom stamps and then some of our social media stuff, because I think that was when Christy actually left. And, yeah.
You did social media when I first started.
Okay, yeah. So maybe my retail Amazon time period was quicker than I imagined. But so then I did the social media stuff for a little bit, and custom stamps, I started doing that. And then I like was like Darcy and Ed's assistant, which meant that I just like packaged DVDs when we used to print our own DVDs and like saran wrap them, and then like fold patterns. So that was super awesome time period where I was like, I can't believe I'm folding patterns.
This is me.
So that was fun. And then from there, I moved into the shop. I got really, as I was doing like the social media stuff, I was like, ooh, I really like this shop situation. Like, this is pretty cool. And so I kind of moved into our R&D section. We had the guy that had been running our R&D was moving away. And so like Clayton and I went in, and that's when we started the R&D stuff. And so I was managing products, like editing, patterns, designs, you know, like Clayton would come up with an idea. I would make it to see if I could follow his instructions. I helped kind of like lay them out for a little bit, did that kind of thing for a while. And that was actually some of the most fun that I've had here. That was a really good time. And then after that, I started managing the shop for a while. I've literally worked the only thing. Nope, I can't even really say that because so I was going to say the only thing I haven't really done is gathering, but when I ran our Amazon store, I gathered. So right now we do try to have like our gathering team fulfill our e-commerce orders, the ones that are in-house when they have enough time. But at that particular time, all of that was my responsibility. So I gathered the orders and I shipped my own orders. So I've technically also shipped like as a thing. But yeah, this place has a lot of opportunities and possibilities, and you kind of make it what you want it to be.
Yeah.
So
There's more to this store than I ever imagined. You know, most people come in and all they see is the retail department out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when I started, there was 30 people. Like, I think I was person number 30. So you probably weren't too far, maybe 40 people when you started.
Yeah.
Like, it still wasn't. And so, like, in my tenure here, we got up to over 100, slightly over 100 right before COVID hit. And now we're sitting steady, I think, around 85 employees is what we've got. And so, like, from the time that I started 12 years ago, the staff has tripled.
You know, and for a while there, private label was a big deal for us as far as the shop goes. But now we don't do any private label anymore, do we?
There's a couple things. We don't really do finished goods for people, but we do some parts and pieces. So I would consider that. Or like if somebody wants our resellers' products in bulk, I kind of consider that a private label-y thing.
Private label-y.
All right, so this goes here and comes up. So I'm starting these stitches.
I started mine.
Did you start it where it told you to?
I didn't know. I didn't hear it say anything to me. I probably didn't. $76. Okay. Now I see it.
I'm just going to start here. This seems fine. I don't know if it's fine, but we're going to go with it. Seems good enough to me. Let's see here. Crystal asked, binders, sandals, wedges, lanyards, bolo ties. I mean, bolo ties are super simple, but we have a bunch of hardware to do bolos. Like we sell the cord. I was kind of thinking that doing some bolos might be fun. Like just come in here and like craft some bolos.
Mm-hmm.
Show people some stuff, but they're pretty straightforward. I am getting a die made right now. One of my longtime customers that calls me and we like to chat. He had a customer that was interested in a leather bolo slide that's different because we do have like the the rectangle that has the holes
Yeah,
that like,
metal slide. Yeah.
well, no, it's just it's the like the rhombus shaped rectangle piece. It's a bolo slide. Luna. Anyways, that wraps around and you lace it up. So we have that one, but there was this, I forget who it was now, but somebody had like an arrowhead that had 3 holes in it that you can run, like a wild rag through. You pull it around and down. So it's a little different style of like a neckerchief slide. So anyways, that die is in the works and it should be done here in the next week or 2. But, so we could do some bolos, lanyards. We have made some badge holders, is what I'll call them, for shows. Just personally, we do have some dies for some badge holders. I don't know if it's a kit that's available, but it's a thing. And then Denny has actually made some pretty darn cool shoes. And I think it would be fun to do kind of just like a how-to. Go
get the shoes. I brought them in.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go get them.
Okay, they're hanging behind my bench on the wall there.
We're checking in here. There's another leather craft.
Oh, hey, I met
I
him.
was gonna say you did.
I did. I gave him a hug and everything.
Whoa.
We took a picture together. That was awesome. So Denny, it was several years ago. You were working in R&D, like you were mostly R&D doing new patterns and stuff. And you went just to the thrift store, didn't you? And you bought some wedges, or did we?
Right.
Yeah, he just went to the thrift store. He bought some wedges, and he brought him back some that had like a nice solid sole. And he took off all of the uppers parts, used that as patterns. Or did you make your
No,
own?
I made my own pattern.
Okay.
I just took them apart and used just
the
the
sole?
wedge. Yeah, just the wedge itself.
And he made the most beautiful tooled. So I think that would be fun to do one day, is just maybe go find some wedges, and you can talk about what a good sole option is, because you need to be able to drive. He just used upholstery tacks and tacked on pieces of leather to the sole. They were pretty cool. Oh, they're so beautiful.
Yeah.
Just put,
Hold on. I gotta get a camera.
get it all set up. Oh, they're so pretty.
Yeah, but those I just covered the wedge itself on the outside with probably about a 2 to 3 ounce leather, and I covered the sole with a piece of rubber, actually soled rubber. And,
I didn't realize that camera was on the shoot.
Sorry, guys.
But it was fun. That was the first pair that I made. Of course, I made this part here a little bit too tall, so it affected people's ankles when they wore them.
Yeah.
Hey, Ann.
Little bit of a
Yeah, but
rub.
I made 2 more pair and altered it every time.
You
they
learned
were
you learned
pretty
a little something.
Yeah, but if you're making those, just find yourself a pair of wedges and take them apart. Wood would be excellent.
Yeah.
If you could find a pair of wood wedges, but they're hard to come by anymore because that's pretty expensive to have those made. Back in the day, those clogs I was talking about that I'd made for my sisters were wooden soled.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we can get those anymore. I really wanted Rusty and Kevin to.
We did look for a while.
Yeah, but we never found anything that was suitable that we could afford to sell at people that they could afford to build on.
Well, I mean, people are buying those $60 sneaker kits.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
I got my sneakers kit on from Chevy today.
But they're so beautiful. So that might be something we did. The problem with shoes is the size situation. Like, it's so many variations and options, and then
If you carry one style, you're adding like 20 SKUs.
Yeah, it's so much. And not that we couldn't do it. It just we never were able to get it panned out. There's a bunch. I mean, the manufacturing in like Leon, Mexico is just like shoes galore.
Denny, did you use upholstery tags? Is that what you used?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Those are the, I think the Sunburst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Upholstery tack. You could still find them on our website. You should be able to.
You know, when I was thinking of these, I was thinking we could just do them in 3 sizes: a small, medium, and large.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of like a pair of flip flops.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to fit those too awful close.
This is, he put a little bit of rubber down here
Yeah.
with some nails just to protect the leather, which I think is a great idea because all my leather soles on my shoes are just terrible.
Yeah.
Just the cutest. Yeah, really, like not super complicated. Not.
No,
This
you
is
know,
the
it
one
was
seat back
complicated
here.
for me to work the pattern out,
Right.
but you know, if I was building another pair, I wouldn't take near as much time as I did on that pair.
Yeah. So you just wrap this all the way around. I assume you skived this real
Yeah,
thin,
skive that down
all
so
the yep,
it would wrap.
and then you
Yeah.
just do an outside stitch here. So you
Yeah.
just pull your 2 pieces up, stitch them down, and then trim it off. You just laid it on a thing, cut a pattern, cut the bottom,
Right.
just finish the edge, and then just glued it right on, and then it's held on with these tacks. And then the uppers are the most complicated part. But I suppose maybe just put your foot in there and then take the leather and figure out where it falls.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly how I fit them. I remember these fit to Elizabeth when she was here, so
Not
she
me.
was my foot model. I say, Elizabeth, come here.
Yeah, if you go way back in the Wayback Machine on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
you'll see Elizabeth's feet in those shoes.
If that's your thing.
That's your thing. Or was it the ones with the blue lace?
No, those I made Becky's size.
Didn't you
Actually,
for Amy too?
yeah, Amy bought a pair. And see what I did? I found those shoes at I forget, a flea market or something. But I just got what size they had, you know, so then I had to pick people that they would fit.
We had to find our Cinderella.
That's right. That's right. I'm confusing myself here. Okay. 76, which is the 4th hole from that side.
Let's see here. Crystal was also talking about bottle holders. Just all sorts of bottles. We have some koozie dies that we did, but not really. We haven't done a lot other than that as far as bottle holders.
Oh, you want me to put these on? I mean, I'm not.
I think Tony's feet are a little big for that. These are pretty small shoes. They
My
fit.
nails-
They fit
My
Denny's little
toenails
wife.
are also done.
I think they're size 6 or 6.5.
Yeah,
or
that'll
something
fit,
like that. You don't
Tony
think
likes
they
to
fit?
try. He can unlace them. Don't stretch them out.
No, these are like for a ballerina.
I want to see that guy make that bird y'all showed from Sheridan. Well, hopefully we can get him out here to do a class. He doesn't want to do an online anything. He wants to do an in-person class. But, yeah, getting Yoshi out here would be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. That would be the highlight of our year.
He lived, where did you say?
Oregon.
Oregon?
Huh. That's fun, Crystal. I guess Don Gonzalez just came out with a golf ball holder that you squeeze and a ball pops out. Oh, we've done a couple binders. We did that photo album a while ago. That was,
I just did a
Just-
portfolio deal that
yeah,
we might do on a video at some point.
okay. Yeah, those are pretty simple. I think we sell the 3-ring binder that you just Oh, well, actually, the one that you made on
Yeah,
the video, it didn't. It just had Chicago screws, right?
right.
Yeah, it was
Right.
like a
Photo album.
yeah, the photo album, and the leather on the inside folded in twice so that it came back on itself, and you attach Chicago screws coming through, and that's what held everything together. So there was no visible metal
Yeah.
on the project, which was neat. So we did that a little while ago. How's it going over there, Denny? Are you working on your fingers yet?
No, I had to start over.
Okay, good.
I forgot to start in the right place. Hope I did this time.
It's okay, our arm seams just won't match.
Say he broke that one back. It was a construction accident.
Chad, I am trying to work with a couple people right now, but I don't have anything confirmed yet. So I don't want to say anything. It's been a really busy summer. Ever since we got back from Sheridan, I feel like I haven't really had time to work on much.
Yeah, we wanted Dawn, but Dawn was too busy.
Yeah. And so we've got a couple other. Oh, hey, let's show this. We got a trading card from Martin Stoltz this week that was super cool. So he really took our owl and ran with the birds of prey situation. So we've got this eagle. So we'll have to. Oh, I think Tony told Denny that he needs to tool one, a mirrored version.
I didn't tell Denny. I asked him.
Oh, that's what you say. Anyways, so Martin sent that. So now we have an owl and an eagle, which is super cool. And we'll send him back.
He's only been doing leather work for 3 years, he said.
Yeah, it's a
What, he's
wonderful job.
74 years old?
I think that's what he said. I relate to him.
Yeah, you're pretty old. Are there any more shoe boot making shows like Sheridan before you get towards your feet? Do you know of any?
I'm not aware of any.
A Google
I'm
search
sure
is
there
about
are.
it.
I'm sure there are.
I mean, there's several. I think there's some in New York. If you're in that area, there is like workshop. And you can find them on Instagram. I forget what they're called, but it's specifically a shoe making like facility to have classes. So people will go in, you take a course, and you'll come out with a pair of shoes. And that's pretty cool. I forget what it's called now.
There's blade for knife makers. Is there boils for shoemakers?
I don't think so.
No?
Boil.
Blades and boils.
Blades and boils. They could go together.
Blades and bunions.
Gonna maybe try to tie this off and then just come down the arm.
You already get all the way around.
I did, and I think I made them all the way around, and I think I'm just gonna whip stitch this arm down with my same piece of thread. Michael, I haven't seen you on there today, but if you're out there watching this, I have great respect for you doing this one-handed.
Really?
Just putting together these shapes. So, like, he made me that dragon face, which I think is also a diesel punk, but it's the same, construction idea.
What blue leather were you using for the pants?
Our drum-dyed veg. So we've got the drum-dyed veg in the blue that we split down to, I think you said 3 to 4?
2,
That's the
3.
colored
2, 3.
veg.
Yeah.
Maybe like if you go on the website, CVT.
I think if you just type colored veg, it comes up too. And then for the hat, instead of a red hat, I did a green one, of course. And this is also the drum-dyed veg in the green, in a 2, 3. And then the rest of it, we did the white diamante that we sell. So this is his, oh, you guys can't really see that. So these pieces are white leather. So it's our white diamante that Denny split down to 2 to 3 ounce here. And then just for his body, instead of using, he's yellow, as they are. But we're just going to use natural veg because we were like, well, it's more skin toned.
Yeah. If we take him outside, we'll have to put sunscreen on him, or he's going to tan.
Exactly. Yeah. So just if you do want to order this through us, just ask to have it split unless you have splitting capabilities on your own. But we're happy to split for you. It's a couple bucks. depending on how big of a piece you get. But we will split it right down so that you have the right thickness when you get it.
Yeah, if you go to thrift stores or like secondhand stores or
Flea market.
flea market, what's that? The disabled veterans
DAV.
store.
Yeah.
DAV, if you go to that, they'll have all sorts of stuff in there.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna find. One of these days when we go up to Kansas City, I want to leave early enough that we can stop by all those Amish antique stores, because there's like 2 or 3 of them as you go up 13
Yeah.
to Kansas City. And I just know that they probably have good stuff in there. They always have fun tools at those Amish antique stores. I think it's New York City, Thomas, is the shoe. When we're done with our hour, which is wrapping up here shortly, I'll grab my phone and I'll look up on Instagram, because I follow them.
Does that pop up on your screen?
What?
Are you playing the spinning game?
Oh, I wasn't looking. Try it again.
Oh, it should be up there right now.
Oh, no.
It's not in the chat?
No.
Okay.
I see let's go.
Yeah, above that should have been like spinning.
Springfield leather, hit 1 out of 3, won 3,000.
There you go. That.
Pulls back the lever. Oh, there's a spin. Crystal's like, I make it all. All right, I have an arm. Look how cute it is. Can't wait to get him all oiled up. He's gonna look real good. Yeah, so Denny and I we'll keep working on this over the next few weeks as we've got some time, and then I have another video that we'll get to the point where we think that we can finish it on the video, and then we'll stop, and then we'll wait for our video, and then we'll finish it up live, and we'll have another story hour.
Harold said he built one of those one time. Some of the stitching is a real challenge. Found using a curved needle set worked better on some of the stitches. So thanks for Harold.
Hey, what's up, Van Plu? How's it going? You just popping on here and say hey? Have you been creeping for a while?
Aren't we doing something with him? Did we get back with him?
He's gonna come out at some point.
Is that where we left it?
Yeah, so we talked to him at Sheridan.
Oh, okay.
And he's gonna come out one of these days. Out from the LA. Get out of that smog.
Him and Chris probably had good conversations about California.
I don't know,
Okay,
did
maybe
you?
not.
Maybe not. Chris doesn't really talk about California a lot.
He's over it. Most people are.
It's been like I feel like he's lived here now basically as long as he lived there.
Yeah.
So it's just
Some people
He just
pronounce
doesn't think
both
about
the
it.
same way though. Misery.
chink. Cheers, Denny.
Cheers.
We got arms. No hands, but we have arms.
Look, Ma, no hands.
I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
Is this another song? Yes.
You don't know that one?
No, I don't know that song. I actually listen to good music.
It is good music.
It was a huge song when I was in high school.
Yeah, it's great.
We've used
Oh yeah, when we were in high
these.
school, I was already done with college.
Well, it's nice to see that you're creeping.
We're in college.
All right. Well, hey, I feel good, Denny.
I do too.
We got 2 arms, no hands.
Hey, that's not because it doesn't
September.
have hands. It's just because they haven't
Can you email us, Steve, so that we make sure that
We get you on a schedule?
yeah, just email us when if you just finished finalized your plans there. Just give us a holler so that we know and we can be prepared for you. You guys are gonna love Steve. Hopefully you already do. He does all other machines like they're legit videos. So, all right. Well, those are some arms and some story time.
Yeah. That was pretty nice.
So,
What are we doing next week?
what's
It's the last week
Is
of
it?
the month.
okay?
Oh,
So next week we'll have our
Wednesday.
roundtable.
Wednesday is round table. No, Wednesday
No,
is
it was-
trading cards.
I think next month we switched it, not this
Oh,
month.
next
Yeah, this month is the same. Next month we had to flip flop our trading card and our round table to accommodate some schedule shifts. But so next Wednesday will be our round table discussion, and then on Friday we'll do trading cards. So Denny will be tooling an eagle, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm gonna try an
He's
eagle.
gonna give that a shot. We're just making this guy's just coming out of his box more and more. It's great.
My box is pretty dark.
Denny's like, I just want to leave that box back there. That's all right.
I like my box.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. I hope it wasn't too miserable for you to sit there and listen to us.
Hey,
I like to listen to us
they got to watch me fumble with that.
with some sewing. I know. I'm pretty excited about our little arms. I think they look great.
The arm look came out good.
Yeah, they sure did. Alrighty. So I think Justin has a schedule posted for August because that's coming up. So go check out. He's getting to posting the schedule for August. So keep on a lookout for that in the next few weeks. And we'll be back next week. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Don't burn up out there in the world.
Yeah.
So bye.
What a weird thing to say.
It's hot.
Have you seen the tip?